ability to make friends quickly, new kid. I want you to go out into the neighborhood and find my greatest warrior.
The South Park TV show has been running for over 17 years now, and there have been many South Park video games that have been released. With each one being a different genre, it's obvious that the series has had its trouble finding its place in the video game industry. A South Park fan will tell you defensively that the games have been getting better with each game, but it's hard to gauge with so many changes between the games. The newest South Park game is titled South Park: The Stick of Truth and is a turn-based RPG set in an open world that is modeled after the small mountain town from the show. After being in development for roughly 4 years, switching publishers, and numerous delays, the game is finally out. Has the series finally found its place in the industry? Is this the South Park game that fans and gamers alike have been waiting patiently for? Or is it just another check on the list of genres to give a go on? In The Stick of Truth, you are the new kid in town. Your family moves to South Park suddenly for reasons that are unclear at the beginning of the game. Soon after you arrive, you go outside to play. Not far from your house, you see a boy of similar age named Butters being attacked by another boy that is dressed like an elf. You help Butters out, then he insists that you meet the one called the Grand Wizard. You accompany Butters to their base where you meet the Grand Wizard, which is being played by the character Eric Cartman. Cartman explains that they are currently in possession of the holy artifact, the Stick of Truth. While Cartman is explaining the powers of the artifact, the elves wage a full-fledged attack on the base and manage to take the artifact. Now it is up to you and a few friends to take back the Stick of Truth. From here you embark on an adventure that spans across a whole town that is 17 seasons in the making. The writers of the TV show wrote the story for this game, so fans of the show know what kind of in-your-face yet somehow clever humor to expect. As in South Park fashion, there is an overarching moral to the story that is subtle enough not to come off as preachy. If you don't have a nostalgic connection to all the little throwbacks in the game and you aren't really into fart jokes, then the story will fall flat. If that's the case, then you're probably not playing this game anyway. As a longtime fan of the South Park TV show, while playing through this game, there is always some sort of smile on my face. Fans of the TV show will feel right at home with this game. From the beginning of the project, the development teams, including South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker, knew they wanted this game to look as authentic to the TV show as possible. During minute-to-minute gameplay, someone in passing could easily confuse this game as an episode of the show. Like the show, the art style of this game can take an idea that may sound a bit too graphic and unsettling on paper and make it look hilarious. The HUD in this game is as minimal as possible while roaming the world of South Park, and while in the combat phase, the game shows all the information needed while not showing enough to confuse players that are new to the turn-based style of combat. Speaking of the HUD, the entire menu and inventory system is masked as a social network, which makes it feel instantly familiar and more inviting than in most RPGs. Have you ever played a 2D open-world action turn-based RPG game? Well, technically that's what this is. A credit has to be given to the development team Obsidian Entertainment for making such a seemingly odd mix of genres feel so natural. It feels exactly like I would think controlling an episode of the show feels. In this game, the town of South Park is yours to explore. The game world isn't that large, but there are still plenty of fast travel points for all you gotta get there fast types. When starting the game, you have a farting ability. You start with a basic fart, but through the teaching of the Grand Wizard, you learn to channel your ability to project even more powerful farts. The fart mechanic had me fearing that I'd finally outgrown South Park. Luckily, by focusing on other parts of the game, I found that I was wrong. If you're familiar with turn-based RPGs, then you probably know what to expect in terms of combat in this game. The combat in this game is a bit more active than in most games in this genre. This is thanks to a strict quick-time event system that has you pressing certain buttons at certain times. Doing this correctly will have you resisting attacks, counter-attacking, and putting more force behind your own attacks. This will definitely keep you on your toes during combat at first, but may start to feel tedious in time. Turn-based RPGs have never been an ally to casual players, but I feel that the sleek combat system in this game alleviates all the reasons why they can't get along. I honestly feel that this is the South Park game the fans have been waiting for. I only hope that the particular appeal of a South Park turn-based RPG game doesn't hurt it in any way. My complaints about the game are that I thought the town of South Park would be bigger. I know that the precision of the map was on purpose to make sure that there is always something around every corner, but it leaves the world feeling compressed and not very sizable. After seeing just about everything the game has to offer in just under 20 hours, I was left wishing there was more to the game. That can also speak to how much I enjoyed the game. I was having so much fun that I can see myself complaining about it ending after even 60 hours. I do love how much there is to see and collect in this game. As a veteran of the genre, I never felt challenged during this game, but I was too busy soaking in all the references to the show to really notice what a breeze this game was. All in all, I have to say, this is a must-have game for any South Park fan, and with the turn-based RPG games few and far between, you couldn't go wrong with this one. My concern as a fan is that I hope this game does well, that way they can keep to this type of game and not switch entire genres again. You've drifted long enough, South Park. Why don't you stay a while?